A lot of guys struggling with dating and relationships kind of remind me of the Joker from The Dark Knight. You know that famous line, right? Where he goes, "I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it." And that's exactly what's happening to so many men in today's dating scene. There's a huge emphasis on cold approach, right? Like, can you walk up to a girl at the bar or on the street or in a coffee shop and get her number? And we all see these pickup artists on YouTube filming their cold approaches. Millions of guys are watching, analyzing, and learning. And don't get me wrong, cold approach is an incredibly valuable skill set. I met my wife using cold approach. But here's the question that no one seems to ask. Then what? Like, what's your plan for asking her out? What's your plan for engaging with her on social media? Like, let's say you do get the date. Do you even know how to run it? Have you pinpointed the mistakes that have sabotaged your first dates in the past? Was it your body language? Did you maybe misread her cues? Like, did you communicate value in the right way? Did you position yourself as the assessor rather than the one being assessed? Did you move the conversation from transactional to flirtatious? And most importantly, can you turn potential attraction into real desire? And look, I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but I do want to open your eyes a little bit. So today, I'm going to break down 3 major deficiencies that are absolutely killing my success with women, even after I mastered cold approach. And I relate these deficiencies kind of to the guy who only lifts upper body in the gym. Like, he's got jacked arms and shoulders, but his legs, they're tiny. Guys, you don't want your dating game to be lopsided. So fixing these 3 issues, it took me from a guy who could get dates and never make anything last to a guy who had his pick of the women he actually wanted. And really quick, if you're new here, my name is KJ Harlow. I'm a men's dating and attraction coach. And look, I used to struggle hard with women, man, until I dedicated like all of my early 20s to figuring out exactly how attraction works. I'm talking thousands of approaches in all sorts of different environments, hundreds of dates, and now I'm here to share what I've learned so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. Guys, if you find this video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into it. So after a lot of practice, I got very comfortable approaching, asking girls out, setting up dates, but once I was on the date, I still felt hesitant when it came to escalating things physically. And here's the truth. Attraction dies fast, man, when there's no physical tension. Like, a woman has to feel the implication that something physical could happen. One of the most viewed videos on my channel is about a technique I use called implied future connection. It's a very subtle way to create that tension without being like overly direct. And I'll link it in the description and above, but the big lesson here is simple. Always be closing. Every good salesperson knows that phrase, and it applies to dating too. Some guys play it too safe. They don't even go for a kiss at all on the first date, and that sometimes works, but I personally found that having an always be closing mentality gets you far better results. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be pushy. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone for a kiss at the end of a date and the girl has pulled back, but it wasn't an outright rejection. It was more like she'd, tell me, "Oh, if you want a kiss, you have to wait for the second date." Same thing with inviting a girl back to my place. Like, if you ask and she says no, cool. Don't be pushy, but do make it known that you're interested in a physical relationship. And yeah, putting yourself out there is risky, man, but it is a much bigger risk playing it too safe. Women like a man who's assertive, not pushy, but confident in pursuing what he wants. So make your intentions known. Like, she might have another date lined up in 2 days. She might mistake your hesitancy for a lack of confidence. So don't wait around. Always be closing. Okay, so major deficiency number 2 was probably the most frustrating one. I was getting plenty of dates, but when it came to the women that I truly wanted, man, I could not transition from short-term attraction to long-term interest. Meanwhile, the women that I was only like kind of into, they were the ones trying to lock me down. Now, why was this happening? Hey, really quick, fellas, is my way of saying thank you to all of you that have been engaging with the content and subscribing. I'm giving lifetime free access to my entire coaching community on School, which includes 3 coaching calls per week with live Q&A. And I'm also going to post the recordings of all those in the group. You're going to have full access to my entire dating fundamentals course, which is 8 hours of recorded content talking about flirting, approaching, first dates, texting, social media, online game, all of it. and you're gonna be able to collaborate with each other and wing for each other when you're running into roadblocks, if you're having trouble texting, having trouble after a first date. I really wanna build this community up, so that's lifetime free access for the first 15 guys to join. Don't wait on this, because after that, prices are going up, man. I'll see you guys later. Because I hadn't figured out how to subtly and humbly imply my value. See, I was so focused on making the dates fun and building attraction, but that only gets you so far. Like, women and men, we both assess the features and benefits of a potential partner. What are your features and what are the benefits of engaging with you in a long-term relationship? And all of this, like the sum of all your features and benefits, what it does is it creates the perception of your value. Women don't just want to feel attraction, they need something to buy into. Like, they need a story to believe in. And the mistake I was making was I didn't have my personal story dialed in. Every great man has a hero's journey and a story that demonstrates why he's valuable, but you have to communicate this the right way. Women aren't impressed by what you tell them, they are impressed by what they uncover. So instead of trying to impress her, learn how to imply your value through storytelling. That's the difference between being just a fun date and being the guy that like she wants to fool around with and being a high value long-term partner. All right, and deficiency number 3 is something I struggled with earlier in my journey. Like in that first year of really getting after it with approaching and dating, I found that I had developed the confidence to approach in like any situation and feel relaxed, but I still wasn't confident in my ability to build and sustain long-term connections. And because of that, I was putting too much pressure on every single date, right? Like, I would catch myself thinking like, man, I really need this to go well. I hope I don't mess this up. Like, I don't get a lot of dates, so I need to make this one count. And that scarcity mindset, it was killing my success. Women can feel it when you put them on a pedestal. It's subtle, but it's there. And the second they sense it, it's over. So here's what I had to train myself to do. Detach from the outcome and focus on executing on your goals for the date. For me, these were my goals in this order. First, I want to build trust and rapport. We do this through exchanging information about ourselves and searching for common ground. It's also during the trust and rapport building phase that you qualify yourself. So you can share stories about you, your travels, your adventures, like a story pertaining to your business or an important project you're doing at work, like sharing things that imply your value and also open up the possibility for finding common ground. From there, I want to engage in entry-level flirting and banter. And then as she starts to open up and flirt back, I want to escalate and create that physical tension and attraction, which is also implied during conversation. When you ditch the scarcity mindset and detach from the outcome, you can then focus on leading a successful date, which is going to get you much better results and also set you up for building connections that last. All right, guys, if you want to learn more about how to truly and subtly build that physical sexual tension, check out my video on implied future connection. I'll link it above and in the description. And please, if you got value from this, hit that like button and subscribe. My name is KJ Harlow, and I'll see you in the next video.